Hey guys, CryptoDad here, and today I'm going to give you a basic guide on how to mine Ethereum using your graphics card or your GPU. So let's get started. Okay, so I've been doing videos for about a year, most of them about cryptography and cryptocurrency, buying cryptocurrency, storing cryptocurrency. I've been reluctant to do them on mining because it's a complicated subject and it's so easy for people to be overwhelmed with mining. But I've done a couple of mining videos and they've been pretty popular, getting lots of views. So I thought it was time to do a basic guide on mining Ethereum. Okay, so the first thing I'll tell you is that you're not going to become a millionaire mining Ethereum this way. I'm not giving you the hardcore mining tools for profitably mining Ethereum. That requires a lot of preparation and work, and it's complicated building rigs and everything. This guide is to just get you started, get you familiar with what cryptocurrency mining is, how it works, and allow you to casually mine Ethereum. You might make only $10 a month doing this or $20 a month doing this. But once you've gone through this guide and set yourself up, you'll get a taste for it, and then you might move on to something more, like maybe tweaking your graphics card to get a little bit extra out of it, or maybe building a rig with more than one graphics card and that sort of thing. So this will be your starting off point, your jumping off point. So if you're just getting started, follow me. It's going to be pretty straightforward, and I'm going to show you step by step from beginning to end how to mine Ethereum. So let's get going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'll leave a link in the description to this cryptocurrency mining guide. It's a pretty good mining guide for the basics, and it shows you explains what mining is, different ways to mine. I'm going to focus on pool mining, because solo mining is like looking for a needle in a haystack, whereas pool mining would be like you got 100 people looking for that needle in a haystack, and if one person finds it, he shares the rewards with everyone. So that's why pool mining is so good. You could try to solo mine Ethereum with your graphics card and never find a block, and it would be quite pointless. All right, if you pool mine, you're going to end up getting paid pretty steadily. It's not gonna be a lot at one time, but it will slow and steady wins the race, so to speak. All right, now and when you mine alone, you've got to deal with all these heating and ventilation and noise and electricity, and the pool mining is a casual way to do it, so we're going to go with that. You could also sign up for a cloud type mining where you're actually paying them. Basically, you're subscribing to their mining cloud, and you get a profit off of that by investing a certain amount of money. That's okay, but we're not going to cover that. All right. So the first thing we want to worry about when we mine Ethereum is our graphics card. Now, if you have a Radeon graphics card, you can follow along with this, but there is an issue with Radeon where they have a different driver that works better for cryptocurrency mining, and if you're an avid gamer, you're going to have to sort of switch between the two of them. I believe the latest one works okay even when you want to game, but we're not going to get too hardcore into that. And if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, just get the latest driver, okay? You could get I think there may be specialized drivers, but we're just going to go with the basics, okay? So you've got your graphics card, you've got your driver installed. So really all we need to do is get the mining software and get it set up. So I'm going to show you how to download. It's called the Claymore Dual Miner. So it works for Radeon or GPU. It works for Radeon or NVIDIA cards, and it also will allow you to dual mine, which means you'll mine Ethereum and some other altcoin. But I'm not going to do that because it requires getting 2 different wallets. Okay, so this guide sort of assumes that you're going to create your own wallet. So I'm going to walk you through that. There's a couple of different ways to create a wallet that will give you an address. Okay, the first way would be MyEtherWallet, and I will put a link to that in the description. Quick and easy way, you just create a new wallet, you create a password. All right, and after you've entered your passwords, you create a new wallet. All right. Now, another way to do this, besides using the MyEtherWallet website, would be to use MetaMask. And I'll show you how MetaMask works in the Brave browser. MetaMask is basically built into the Brave browser. So all you really have to do is go in here to Settings and then go over to Extensions. And as you can see, you know, the MetaMask is included in here by default. You can just turn it off and on. All right, I have mine on, and you can see there's a little fox up here in the corner. All right, and when you first set up MetaMask, it's going to ask you to create a password. So once you've enabled MetaMask and created a password, it's going to give you a seed phrase. And in that case, you're going to want to save that seed phrase just like you did with the MyEtherWallet website. So you may already know how to do this, but basically I'm just explaining to you that you will need a wallet and an address. All right, so Ethereum wallet, check. Graphics card, check. All right, so let's go over and get some software. All right, so the software that we're going to use is the, I mentioned it before, is the Claymore dual miner, and there's a link to it here in this guide that I provided you a link for. So we'll just click this link and we'll go over here. Now there's 2 ways to get it, through Mega or Google Drive. So you just go ahead and click that link and it's going to take you over to this Mega page and it's going to load up. All right, and it's going to present you with a list of files to download. Don't feel overwhelmed. You want the Windows version, which is the zip file right here, and you want the latest version of it, right? So you go down to the bottom here, and we'll choose the 11.8 version. We'll just click on that, and that's the version that I'm going to download. I'll double click it, and as you can see over here, it's going to download this for me. And when it's done, it'll open up a page. Right? And so I'm going to choose Save here. All right, and now we can get the browser out of the way for a second. We'll go over here to Downloads. Now I want a special folder for this software, right? So you can put it anywhere you want. I'll just go ahead and put it on my desktop. You could store it anywhere you want. We could call this mining software, right? All right. Okay, so before we go much further, I should point out that cryptocurrency mining software does not get along with your antivirus and your Windows Defender and your anti-malware software. Okay, cryptocurrency mining software will generally be flagged as malware or bloatware or whatever they want to classify it as, because basically a lot of people will try to install cryptocurrency miners serendipitously on other people's computers so that they're mining cryptocurrency in the background. So cryptocurrency mining software in general is going to be flagged as malware or viruses. So you're going to have to deal with that, okay? We're adults here, and yes, it's going to throw up a flag and tell you that it looks bad, and so you're just going to have to work through that if you want to mine cryptocurrency, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and decompress this, and we'll see if we get any flags thrown up. I use 7-zip for decompression. I'll put a link in the description for that too. It's great open source software for compression and decompression. I'm going to decompress it into a folder with the same name. And there it is. It thinks that it's, my antivirus software thinks that it's virus. So I'm going to go down here to advanced options. I'm going to choose exclude from detection and exclude signature from detection. And instead of clean, which would remove it, I'm going to ignore it. Okay, and it's thrown up another warning for me. So once again, I need to go to advanced options, exclude, and ignore. Okay, so I had to go through that like 3 times to get it to allow this software to decompress. Where is it? Okay, here it is, Claymore's. All right, and of course it's in a folder within a folder, so I'm going to move it over here to my mining software folder. And there it is in all its glory. Okay. All right, so the main thing here is this ETH miner here, and this is the file that is going to actually do the mining. All right, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Okay. Okay, so now that we have the software downloaded and installed, we're going to need to join a mining pool so that we can direct this software to mine for us on the mining pool. Actually, the guide sort of broke it down for you too. Yeah, this is what it's going to look like when we're done. Mine was a bit messy. All right. And then they give you, in the guide, they mention that they want you to paste in these sets of instructions. We're not going to worry about that because I'm going to show you a little trick that's going to create this file for us. Okay, so in the guide that I gave you a link to, they talk about the pros and cons of the different types of mining pools, whether it's a big, small, or say a medium-sized mining pool. The bigger mining pools have more power, more hashing power, much more likely to find blocks, but then there's more people, there's more competition, and you're going to have to share the rewards among more people. Smaller mining pool, you may not have to split the reward among so many people, but your chances of finding a block go down because they don't have as much hashing power. So if you're the adventurous type, you might want to go with one of the smaller mining pools, hoping to get a bigger payout. If you're a little more conservative like me, you probably want to go with the big mining pool. And then if you're somewhere in the middle, maybe go with dwarf pool, it's a medium. And there are lots of other mining pools out there. These are just a few of the, the more reliable, trustworthy ones. So I'm going to check out Nanopool because it has a cool tool that will allow us to generate a configuration file. So we'll click this and we'll check out Nanopool. This is it. So here's our mining pool. Now you'll also notice that the guide gave us an address, but that they mentioned that the address is for the European region. So if you're not in Europe, you don't want to use this mining pool address. So we're going to remedy that pretty quickly. So we want to join this mining pool, and we have the software we need. We just need to get the configuration file done right so that it will point us at this pool and mine to our wallet, right? So we'll go over here to help, and they have a couple of links to download the mining software. They do have a different mining software for Windows and NVIDIA if you want to check that one out too. And then here we go. We want to generate the config. So we just click this button. And everything here is a nice little interface that we can use to generate the configuration file. So in my case, I'm going to choose my OS as Windows. My card is NVIDIA. And I'm going to name my worker. You can name it anything you want. I'm going to call mine the CryptoDad. All right. And then put in your email. Spell it correctly. The CryptoDad. And you, of course, put in your email. You'll want the email to, it'll send you alerts and links and things like that. That'll make it easy to manage your miner. All right. And instead of Europe, we want to choose one closer to us. In my case, I'm going to choose US West. I want it to mine Ethereum, and I want it to mine to an address. All right. So I'm going to use MetaMask. Remember, I showed you two ways to create an Ethereum wallet. I showed you the MyEtherWallet, and I showed you MetaMask. You don't have to do both. I hope that's not too confusing for people. I was just showing you two different ways to get an Ethereum wallet. The main thing is you need an address to send your rewards to. So I'm going to choose the MetaMask option. We'll go down here, and this is my MetaMask account. It has an Ethereum address. I'm just going to click this over here and choose copy address to clipboard. Right? And I'll go over here to this field and I will paste that guy in, and there we go. That is the address of my MetaMask wallet. Now this second algorithm, you can also simultaneously mine Ethereum or Sia coin or Pascal coin. I'm not going to do that because that would require downloading and installing that wallet and getting the address. I'm just not going to go through all that today. I'm going to choose none. All right, so I'm just going to choose none, and then I'll choose generate. All right, and what it's going to do is generate a file, which I will drop on the desktop. And then we'll go down. We're done with this now. Now you'll notice that the mining software has a start file down here. But what we've just done with using that mining pools configurator is, I'm going to decompress this, is we've generated one that is specific to our miner, right? This start. So we can look at it and we'll see it put those configurator lines in there for us, so we didn't have to fool around with that. It gave us the right miner, and it gave us the right mining pool located in the west, the right port, and our address and our miner name. All of those things have been done for us automatically. So all I need to do is drag them into this folder. I'll drag the e-pools into, that's some backup pools. So just drag those over, and of course it wants, we're going to want to replace those files with the files we just drug in there. All right. So now we've got our mining software installed and ready to roll, and we've got our configuration file all set up to mine to our wallet. Right? Very nice. So I'm going to double click and start this thing. Now the video is going to get choppy, so I'm just going to talk a little bit maybe when I start to mine here, but I just want you to see it happening, and I just want you to see it happening. So we'll double click. Okay, it's going to run a little bit of configuration. You'll see that it recognized my graphics card. And it's going to do some more configuration. You'll notice that it's mining from the server that we set. Okay, so I had to shut the miner down because it was interfering with my video editing. So a couple of things to note. When you're running this miner, it's going to degrade your overall performance, of course. Especially when you have your monitor connected to your GPU. Now there are ways to avoid this. Most computers have a built-in connector for the monitor. So if you have a dedicated machine with a nice GPU, you'll probably want to connect the monitor to the motherboard internal connector. Usually it's an HDMI, and not have anything at all connected to the GPU. Just let the GPU do the mining. And then of course, if you're like me and you've got a decent machine with a nice graphics card, which you like to use, because who really wants to spend all their money on a GPU and not use it for gaming, or running their computer or video editing, whatever they want to use. Just run the miner when you're not doing anything else. Run the miner at night. So now that you've run the miner for a little while, I'm going to just show you one extra little thing that you can do. And let me take it back to this. If you recall, we are mining to the address of our MetaMask, and that is we were using account 1. So we'll just copy that address into the clipboard, and we'll go over here to the ETH pool website and paste that address in. And when we paste that address in and click search, you're going to see the stats for your miner because they're based on that address. So, and of course, you're going to have to let the miner run for a little while until it eventually finds a share. If you noticed, when I first started to run my miner, it was running a bit slow. The hash rate was pretty low. So as I mentioned, I'm just setting you up on the mechanics of how you get a miner going, a very basic miner. There are things you can do. Like I said, don't run other apps while you're running the miner. There are some things you can do to tweak the graphics card. There are some programs you can download that will overclock it. Of course, some of these things will void your warranty. And like I said, I'm not going full tilt. I'm just showing you how cryptocurrency mining works. And so here's our interface. And this is the address that it's mining to, which is the same address as my MetaMask account. And we can adjust some settings here. We can click on settings, and it wants the email that I used when I set up the configuration page. And if you remember, if we look at the mining software folder here in our start file, we set this guy up with the CryptoDad is the name of the miner, and the CryptoDad at Gmail is the email associated with this Ethereum mining address within this mining pool. So we'll use that email. This, of course, will be your email. And we want to change the minimum payout. 0.2 Ethereum is quite a bit. It's going to take you quite a while to mine that much. So you would want to change it to the minimum and apply. All right. It's entirely up to you. You can mine and not get a payout until you hit 0.2. Which means that you'll mine for a couple of months at least before you're going to get any kind of payout. But as you can see now, the minimum payout is set to 5 ETH. And as you can see, there's not that much ETH going on at the moment. And I believe there's a calculator here that's going to give you the cold hard truth that you're not going to be making a lot of money with this miner. You'll make a little bit. And if you're mining a cryptocurrency that goes up in price, then in the long term, you could make more than what you're doing now. And I'll also mention that this probably isn't going to pay for the card. So don't run out and buy a card unless you really know what you're doing. You know, if you want to get a dedicated machine and tweak the card and give it its maximum potential, then more power to you. One thing that I've noticed, and I will mention this, is that when you tweak your card and you push it to its limit, the fan on the card becomes loud and irritating. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner to me, and I am just not willing to pay that price. I'm not going to walk over to my computer or wherever I have my mining rig set up and have it sound like a vacuum cleaner. So that's the price you pay. And then, of course, if you're using a tricked out machine with lots of graphic cards, you're going to have heat issues, electricity issues. So maybe set your miner, mine when you're not doing anything, or have a dedicated miner that mines at a reasonable setting on the card so that it's not disturbing. Whatever works best for you. So I'm hoping that you can wrap your head around this. You can watch it happen. You can watch it work. And then you can say to yourself, oh, gee, that was fun. Or you can say, I want more, and, follow yourself down this rabbit hole. Learn more about mining. Go out and buy yourself more cards, build a machine, whatever you want to do. Or just be like me and casually run it at night when you're sleeping and just let it earn a little bit here and there and just have some fun with it. Before I go, I'd like to mention that I do have a live stream every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So join me for the live Q&A from LA and throw out any questions that you may have. I'd be happy to do my best to answer them, and I hope to see you there. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. So once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you soon.